Good morning, Dr. Carson. I want to ask you a political question about Florida, where I know you're a resident, my home state. It looks like the polls are tightening up for Rubio there. And when you look at Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, the polls aren't looking great for Mr. Trump, and he actually acknowledged this yesterday. Can you tell us why you think that he's struggling? I know that there's plenty of time to make this up between now and November, but he seems to really have fallen behind in many of the key states. Yes. I want to know what you attribute that to and what you think he needs to do to correct course.
I can tell you exactly why. It's because there's been an all-out assault on him, unprecedented, I believe, by the media, because they recognize that he represents an incredible threat to the whole progressive movement. They've been working for a very long time to get to this point. And all they need is one more term so that they can get 2 to 4 Supreme Court justices in there, and they can get the federal court system stacked the way they need it. Then it doesn't matter anymore after that. They've got it. You know, he represents a big threat to that. Yeah. Huge threat.
Dr. Carson, Harlan Hill here. As a millennial Democrat that's come of age during Obamonomics, I can see why so many people are gravitating towards free stuff, because they feel like there's no hope. People my age don't remember good times. And so I think that that's why Donald Trump is so important, because he speaks to the real needs of people. He's saying that we're going to fix the tax structure, we're going to fix the economy, we're going to go after ISIS. But he's not able to break through the mainstream media filter. So how can he win with the establishment in both the Democrat and Republican Party and the media working against him? How can he win?
Well, what we have to do, you know, those of us who really are looking at the big picture, is help people to understand that this is not about Donald Trump. This is not about Hillary Clinton. This is about our children and our grandchildren and what kind of country do we want to have. So, you know, begin to utilize your senses. You know, the progressives are saying to us, if you want your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Is that true? Of course not. They're saying ISIS is on the run, they're being defeated. Is that true? Of course not. You know, they're saying regulations are wonderful, we need them because people can't do things on their own. Is that true? Of course not. The economy is wonderful. Jobs are plentiful. Is that true? Of course not. Hillary's private server, not a problem. Right. Is that true? Of course not. They're asking you to deny what your eyes and your ears and, more importantly, your brain tell you, and just listen to them and everything will be okay. We have got to be smarter than that.
Yeah, so, I mean, is Donald Trump going to be able to stick to messaging and keep talking about the issues that you just raised that are critical to the American people and not get sidetracked by the noise?
Well, he's going to, but the whole sidetracking issue is blown out of proportion because it really doesn't matter what he says. Okay. You know, what he said recently about ISIS, you know, hyperbole, but when Hillary Clinton said that he was the #1 recruiter for ISIS, did anybody get excited about that?
Right. There was no comment in the mainstream media about it.
Signing up people.
Yeah, that's true.
And they know exactly what Donald Trump means. They know, but they need to make a big deal out of it so that they can affect weak-minded people and say, see how horrible he is? Forget about all that stuff. It's like the Wizard of Oz. Don't mind that man behind the curtain. You know, use your brain.
Well, it was just like earlier this week, you know. I mean, when we saw that the father of the Orlando shooter was sitting so prominently behind Hillary Clinton, we reported it here. I didn't see it reported anywhere. And yet we were all talking about Donald Trump and his comments. And yet I thought that was just extraordinary, that person got that seat. And yet, no mention.
What came out recently, that was a huge story about how they manipulated the information about the war on ISIS.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge story.
Right. We just spoke to Peter King about that.
Just brush it under the rug.
Yeah. And by the way, you know, Congressman King was just with us, and he basically detailed all of the issues and implications as a result of that. I mean, there are real implications to our men and women who are fighting, putting their lives on the line as a result of that. So, anyway, Dr. Ben Carson, good to see you, sir. Thanks so much.
You too.
We'll keep on talking.